One morning, a Peri, a fairy, heard a murmuring that sounded like it came from the deep river of life itself. It was a sound that played like moonbeams on her gossamer wings. When the Peri turned around, she saw a light so bright it could mend every broken heart. And that light led to a pair of gates beside which stood a figure with wings of fire. As the Peri approached those gates and saw that light become brighter, and give her more peace, she cried out, "I have seen all the flowers of the stars, the moon, and the sea, but I have never seen a light like this. Oh, tell me, O Spirit, what light? Where does this light come from?" And the figure standing beside those gates replied to the Peri, "These lights, after all, are the lights that beam from paradise." "Paradise," cried the Peri. "I have never heard of such a place. Open these gates so I can see the wonders that are hidden beyond it." But the figure turned to the Peri, shaking her head, saying this, "I cannot let but anyone enter paradise. No one enters paradise unless it has a suitable gift to offer." "A suitable gift," cried the Peri. "I know where all the treasures of the world are to be found. I've seen with my own eyes the rubies of Badakhshan, the pearls stored on the beds of the sea floor. I will go out into the world and I will find you a gift with which you cannot resist me any longer." And so the Peri went on her journey to find that suitable gift which would allow her entry into paradise. She wandered far and wide across the world until she came upon a battlefield. And on that battlefield lay many dead. And among the dead was a soldier who had fought to the death, a war against injustice. And on the body of that soldier was beaming the courage to undertake such a fearless battle against injustice. "Surely such courage," said the Peri to herself, "surely such courage is a suitable gift that will allow me entry into paradise." And so she carried the courage of that fallen soldier and presented it to the guardian of those gates. "See this courage," she said to the guardian. "See this uncommon courage, this common courage that fights against injustice. What more suitable gift can there be than this?" But the guardian at the gates turned to the Peri and said to her, "Sweet Peri, indeed the courage you hold in your arms is indeed uncommon, a courage to fight against injustice. And yet there is something missing in this courage. For the one who was using this courage to fight injustice, perhaps this soldier was blinded to the injustice he committed against others. He was so consumed at the injustice of others, he could not see the injustice he committed himself against those who loved him. No, this is not a suitable gift to offer to have entry into paradise. And so despondent, the Peri went again into the world, wandering its expanse, going to all its four corners. And then it came upon a land afflicted with plague. She entered the gates of a city where there were many dead, many who had left the afflicting illness. And in the midst of this city there was a park. And within that park there grew an orange tree. And in the shade of that orange tree there lay two lifeless bodies in a tight embrace. They were two lovers who could not bear to be parted with one another. And so they allowed themselves to share the same fate, the same fate to be stricken by this plague. The Peri looked at these two and saw their uncommon love that was so strong that they were willing to share the same dark fate. Indeed, such love is uncommon in this world, said the Peri to herself. Indeed, such love is a suitable gift for paradise. And so in her arms she carried that intense love between those two that made them share the same death. Look, she said to the guardian at the gates, look at this love. Indeed, is there any love more uncommon than this? Any love more intense, more beautiful? Indeed, such love is a suitable gift for entry into paradise. But the guardian looked at that love that the Peri was carrying in her arms and shook her head. The guardian shook its head towards the Peri, saying this, Sweet Peri, indeed the love that you carry in your arms is uncommon. How few share such an intense love that leads the two to share the same death. And yet I'm afraid that this love too is not a suitable gift. For these two who loved each other so intensely, in doing so, blinded themselves to the love that was around them. This love that binded these two so intensely prevented them from loving those around them who loved them as dearly. No, after all, this love too is not a suitable gift for paradise. And then, with a heavy heart, the Peri returned to the world. Indeed, after I have found these two wondrous things, said the Peri to herself, indeed, I will never find a suitable gift that will allow me to enter paradise. And yet still she wandered the expanse and breadth of the world, touching its all four corners. And then, in a moment, to take some rest from her wanderings, she found herself in a rose garden. And in the middle of that garden there was a fountain, and near that fountain was a bench. And sitting on that bench was an old man. He was sitting there silently, looking at a boy who was playing nearby that fountain. A boy who was carefree, aimlessly chasing butterflies, picking roses from its bushes, laughing its unthinking and carefree laughter. And the old man, looking at that boy, thought about his life, thought about all the cruel things he had done, even to those who loved him most, thought of all the crimes he had committed, the crimes he had hid from others, but he knew its cruelty within his own heart. The old man looked at all his regrets, all the things that mattered that he did not heed, for distractions that mattered not at all. The old man looked at all his regrets, all his crimes, and all his cruelty, and in that moment was overcome with regret. And through regret, he tried to teach his old heart something he had forgotten long ago. He tried to teach his old heart repentance. And in those first steps of repentance, the pain of it was too much for the old man, that the old man began to weep. Those eyes which had been dry for many years welled up with tears of repentance. But when those tears ran down those wrinkled cheeks, they were bright as the pearls that the Peri had seen hidden on the ocean floor. So bright that the Peri could barely look upon them. And the Peri collected those tears, those pearl bright tears of repentance. And she thought to herself, indeed, if this is not enough, indeed paradise is not worth seeing. And she brought those tears of repentance before the guardian at those gates. And she said to the guardian, I have seen everything in the world that I thought was suitable. But I think this gift I bring you is the one that means the most to me. If this is not a suitable gift, then indeed paradise is not worth seeing. And then the guardian turned to the Peri, and with a smile, a sad smile, said to her, Sweet Peri, finally you have brought me the gift that paradise itself has been longing for since the beginning of time. You have brought me the tears of repentance. This is the best gift of all. And at that moment, the guardian stepped aside, drawing the gates open so that the Peri could enter paradise. And as the Peri entered paradise, she felt herself being stretched and stretched and stretched until she became a bright sunbeam that forever shone on all the flowers of the stars, the sun, and the sea.